you get out of bed every day, right? Everybody gets out of bed at the same spot as the person next to them. It's what are you doing with your day to make you different, right?
Sure.
So you get out of bed and you're like, I have 2 feet on the ground. How am I going to make a difference today?
Sure.
And that's every day.
Yeah.
In my mind, even coming here, I love talking about real estate. I love sharing. I love helping people.
Yeah.
That's what drives me. And
Yeah.
if you do what you love, you never work a day in your
Yeah.
life. You know that.
So it's very fulfilling for you, and you're helping other people,
Yep.
which is ultimately the ultimate sales. Like there is no selling, in my opinion. Like it's all
Exactly.
about how you help the other person.
Exactly.
Today I'm sitting with Stacey Hennessey. She is the #1 agent by volume in the Realtors Association of Northeast Wisconsin. In the past 12 months, she has closed 180 transactions, which equates to almost 4 houses a week. That's awesome. Stacey has consistently been ranked in the top 10 and has been awarded numerous industry accolades across the region. Today we're going to find out what drives her success through focused work ethic and top-notch customer experience. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So tell us, how long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate 10 years and 1 month.
10 years and 1 month? Okay, awesome. Tell us a little bit about what got you into real estate. Like how did, what brought you here?
I worked for a Fortune 500 company in the area, Thrivent, and I was in charge of online banking, product development, training, marketing, messaging, customer experience was huge. I feel like Thrivent was maybe at the forefront, and they continue to be at the forefront of things like lean manufacturing and Kaizen and customer experience. I mean, they were doing that 20 years ago.
Okay.
So that's been in my blood, and at the time we were going through a lot of changes when I left, and plus you heard the titles I was saying.
Sure.
I was just like
doing everything.
And then it came to, I'm a very driven and a doer, right? So when I was there, I got to the point where there was so much going on and that we were kind of at a standstill with projects and getting approval and whatnot. So I'm like, I just feel like I'm going in a circle and I gotta go, I gotta do. So
Sure.
I was married to a builder at the time, Don Hennessey, and he builds like a Prater home or 2 a year, does a lot of custom builds. So I was very passionate about that. I used to be able to pick out the interior designs, the exterior, the color schemes, work with the interior designers on that kind of thing. And then really helped him with marketing. I think he still has the same website up that we did about 20 years ago, which is good, fine.
Okay.
And then from the Thrivent experience, the last thing I remember from that was there was a group of us that went to hospitals, and we were supposed to, take in the sights, the smells, the sounds, where you helped right away at the desk. And so just going through that and applying that, I mean, that's a lifelong, every single day task. And so then a lot of times I ask myself, these people choose me to be their realtor or choose me to help them find a home. How can I make that experience positive, uplifting, extraordinary, just very meaningful, because it's very stressful. I see so much anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm just like, you know what? Call me if you need me, or whatever it takes to get us through this, and we have a fun time, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
And then from the home part of it, I was helping Don for a little bit, and I'm like, I need more work to do. So I got my license.
Okay.
Online, went to Green Bay, and then fit in kind of with the Century 21 brand, and the rest is history.
And you just got into working right away. Mm-hmm. Tell us about when you got started. Like, so that first 3 months, did you instantly? You seem like you're very much a driver. Did you? Were you able to drive sales right away, or was it a clunky start for you, like getting started?
At first, I always, if I'm not busy, and this continues today, if I'm not as busy as I need to be, or obviously I'm going and prospecting and seeing if I can't build that client base, but I'm always learning. So I'm reading a book. When I first started, I decided, you know what, there's time. I have time to now get my ABR, and that was something where you didn't need to have the broker hours behind you.
Sure.
That came after. So I was CRS ABR right out of the gate, really, broker associate. So my other mantra, I guess, was signs in the ground, right? At the time, Brett Favre was quarterback, and they had the song that he was singing.
Sure.
So signs in the ground. So that was like my focus of, okay, have at least 5 signs or 10 signs. The other thing was always be bigger than you appear, right?
Okay. So you leveraged whatever you had at the time.
Right.
Okay.
And I'd ask agents if I could borrow their listings, and at the time the Homes magazine was a big thing, right? So I had a page, and I also believe in, you have to spend money to make money, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of money, but the other thing we've talked about is like the time, right? So I spend money on the home page, signs on the ground. I spend a lot of time calling for sale by owners.
Sure.
And then the time part of it. So because I had so much time on my hands, I would do open houses. I'd ask other agents if I could help them host open houses for them and that kind of thing. So
good for you. So 9 years ago, 10 years ago, you would take an ad out in the it was a magazine at the time, right? Mm-hmm. And you would ask other listing agents if you could use their listings and put them on your page.
Right.
Right. So you appeared as though you had.
Wow, look at this girl.
Oh
She's
my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though a couple of them were yours.
Right.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so take us through today to kind of how your business is structured today.
Another Thrivent philosophy or whatnot or teaching is you have your seat on the bus, right? So I'm the driver of the bus just because I'm a driven individual. And then I believe every single person that I interact with, I have 2 assistants that are essentially full-time. One is involved very heavily in social media. So she does the social media, the following up with lenders. If the appraisal has an issue, it gets back to me. And then Renee is my other assistant. She actually moved to Florida. She was in real estate about a year prior to myself. Okay. And I think for her, the comfort level of being in front of people was not there. She was like, I'd rather be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it was cool to say, okay, I feel really comfortable here. What do you two feel really comfortable about? Let's put you there.
Okay.
And we just go from there.
Awesome. So it's you and 2 full-time assistants?
Essentially. Nicole is just about full-time.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I'm just amazed at the amount of business you do with that. You must be very busy. That's great. What metrics do you watch with your business? Is there anything that you constantly watch or that you keep an eye on in your business?
I think every transaction I put in a database or a spreadsheet that says what was the list price, the list to sell ratio, of course.
Okay.
The address. I also track the demographics of the client. Were they male or female? What do I think their age? I never ask them, but what do I think their age range is? Are they a family with kids? Are they empty nesters? Are they retired?
Sure.
Who did I interact more with during the transaction? And so then I can transition my marketing or turn my marketing to that.
Okay.
So list to sell ratio for sure. Sales volume, number of units. But there again, that's all tracked so that I can direct my marketing accordingly.
Okay. Okay. All right. So where does most of your business come from today? Like, what do you? Are you referral based? Are you prospecting based? How do you?
I would say 75% is past client referral, lender referrals, other business partner referrals. Zillow, I spend a lot of money there, and that goes back to being new as well. Excuse me. When I started 10 years ago, Zillow was this big, and you've got the SWOT analysis, right? Your strength. Well, the threat was, look at all these people are paying attention, and now Zillow is this thing that it is today. So the strength and the presence isn't as much predominant as it was back then, and the costs are crazy. But I still pay by zip code and watch the zip codes and how many leads am I. That's another thing I track is zip code.
Sure. So the vast majority of your business comes from referral. Some of it's online, and then business partners that you understand that correctly, lenders, just people that you're networked with is where a lot of it comes from. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. And then how do you continue getting referrals? Like what brings that to you? How does that work?
It's kind of like the snowball effect, right? You've got your client base, and then all of a sudden, I can close a transaction, and I have 2 or 3 of their friends calling me that next week because they just went to their housewarming party and they want a house. And then I give them gift cards to go out to dinner. Or my very, very favorite thing is called random acts of kindness. Right?
Sure.
So I give gift cards, like I think it's like a $25 gift card to Red Robin or Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that. And I just randomly pick 10 people, whatever I have time for in my week or my month, and randomly send a little card that says it's random acts of kindness day and today is your lucky day. And they get a gift card. And I get these people that call me and they're like, you have no idea how much we needed this night out. We're getting married. We are so stressed. We're trying to save every penny we can. And I get goosebumps talking about it right now because it's just like, wow. They're like, awesome. For you to take time and think about us and care enough to send this, you have no idea how much it means to us. Yeah, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's super cool. Another thing that it seems like you do a lot is you invest in yourself. You invest in your business. What financially learning based. Can you tell us a little bit about like how much do you actually invest in yourself? Like, do you try to do something once a quarter, let's say learning based, or is it just constant books, podcasts? What inspires you to learn? I'm on quite a few business coach email lists or whatnot, so the videos come pretty regularly. I
Okay.
don't watch every one of them. So I don't get inundated because there's so much coming at us, right? With,
Oh yeah.
learn this, read this, do this. I have a folder that says A-list news articles, read these later, and I think there's 300 and some emails in there.
Okay.
But I can pick and choose, and
Yeah.
Inman News is amazing.
Sure.
I'm on their feed.
Can I slow down for a second?
Yeah.
I love that. So you actually, because I think this happens a lot in our industry, you're getting hit with so much information that it's very easy for us to get distracted.
Correct.
And what I think I picked up on you is that you actually you're like, this is all good. Some of this stuff is like stuff I want to lead. And you just pushed it off to the side so that you stay focused on your priorities of your production.
Right.
And you said, I'll get back to you when I'm low, but right now this has to get taken care of.
Exactly.
Is that?
Yep, and that folder's there always when you need it, right? So
Yeah.
kind of like exercise equipment at your house.
Yeah.
You might not use it, but it's there if you need it.
Yes.
Same thing here.
Oh, that's great. I love that. So what motivates you? Like, I mean, you're the number one agent by volume in our MLS right now. Like, what motivates you? What gets you out of bed? Like, what makes you drive as hard as you do or work as hard as you do?
Every morning, and it's built in me, it's instilled in me. You get out of bed every day, right? Everybody gets out of bed at the same spot as the person next to them. It's what are you doing with your day to make you different, right?
Sure.
So you get out of bed and you're like, I have 2 feet on the ground. How am I going to make a difference today?
Sure.
And that's every day.
Yeah.
In my mind, even coming here, I love talking about real estate. I love sharing. I love helping people.
Yeah.
That's what drives me. And
Yeah.
if you do what you love, you never work a day in your
Yeah.
life. You know that.
So it's very fulfilling for you, and you're helping other people,
Yep.
which is ultimately the ultimate sales. Like, there is no selling, in my opinion. Like, it's all
Exactly.
about how you help the other person.
Exactly. And the
Okay.
appreciation. I
Yeah.
mean, that drives me.
Yeah,
So much.
that's great. That's great. Biggest strength of your business. What do you think is the biggest strength of what you do?
I would say how we are organized. We have to be very organized to do the volume that we do. We have timelines and templates and just keeping customers on track. I've never missed a deadline. I always call people back. I always answer my phone when I can, obviously, if I'm in an appointment or
Right.
something. But I'm returning those calls, and it doesn't cost you anything more to answer your phone, right?
Right. It's amazing how many people don't in our business.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yes, and then it gives you the kind of the impression that do they care? I mean, sometimes it takes days and days to call back. And
Yeah.
probably one of the most frustrating parts for me is when an agent or a lender or somebody doesn't call back, and you're the one who's supposed to get the answers. It
Yeah.
makes us all look bad.
Yeah.
So I always make sure that I'm respecting
Yeah.
the
Absolutely.
other agents and the answers and the timeliness of that too.
That's great. Culture is culture in our in all of our businesses. It's how they interact.
Right.
Okay, so you have to. I completely agree. Like, I don't see how you could even do the amount of business that you do if you're not very well dialed in, right people in the right seats. It sounds like pretty good systems, systems and models. You got it kind of built out, and it's kicking out what it's kicking out right now, with you driving it. Where did you personally? How did you develop like your drive, your work ethic? Where does that come from?
It's in my chemical makeup.
Sure.
I know.
That's you. That's the way you were designed, right?
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
like, I wake up and I just
And
run.
here I am.
Yes.
Get ready.
Let's go.
Right.
That's great. That's great. Daily habits. You got any special daily habits that you do? Routines? Anything like that?
Not really. I think I'm kind of modeled from the corporate world. You know, I'm usually up and in the office by 7:30. Checking emails, and I really, truly am available from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every single day of the week.
Okay.
There's been times this past year, of course, with the volume and offers and things. I mean, I was up till 11 or 12 at night, but I'm a firm believer in no good negotiation happens after 9 p.m. I mean, if I'm going all day from 7 to 9,
Sure.
I'm exhausted,
Sure.
right? But there's been times where I had a buyer who was helping his sister-in-law out. She had to live in a certain condo association next to the place she lived. She didn't drive, and we were up till 11:30 because we had to get it done.
You had to get
and
it
we
done.
got an accepted offer
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah, that was interesting. You said that there's a certain point. Our energy's a lot like a battery. You know, when you're fully charged in the morning, and then it starts to
Right.
dwindle as the day goes. But I thought that was you actually put your clients first when you said, you know what, it's going to wait till tomorrow because of whatever reason. I'm not as sharp as I should be or that I need to be right now, which I think is great.
And I communicate that with them. If it is getting to be like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and they want to write an offer. I'm
Sure.
like, you know what? And thankfully, 1% of people even expect that to be something we would
exactly
want you to do.
Yes, exactly.
No.
exactly. How do you balance what you do? How do you balance it?
What I really strive to do is I still use a calendar written because I have to see it in front of me. And so I've been very bad at just setting appointments for whenever these clients want. Fine, right? Because I work 7 to 9. But I'm getting better at kind of clustering those appointments. So if somebody wants to see a house on Saturday and it's summer and I want to go boating, maybe I'll work in the morning.
Sure.
And then that afternoon I'm booking that appointment to go boating, right? Nobody's going to break that. And then Sunday, if somebody wanted to see something Saturday afternoon, usually they can wait till Sunday morning. But what I'm very careful about is never impacting their opportunity to get to a house, to get an offer, and to get that house. If they wanted to see something that, let's just say Friday, for example, it seems like the MLS likes to put houses live at about 3 p.m.
Right,
It's
exactly.
great. And then your Friday night was like, oh, they're just going to go out for fish, but now I can't.
Yes.
So calling the agent, making sure, hey, are there any other offers? We can't get in there till Saturday. It's my fault. Is that going to work, or do I need to get them in sooner?
Sure.
And I think 99% of the time it's
okay.
Fine.
Sure.
And what I really love this year, we're cyclical, right? And we kind of react. I think 2 years ago, agents were just like, get the people in there, get the offer, get it done, check, and you couldn't even get there.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I was so happy to see, and I thought it was a great idea of, we're going live on Thursday or Friday or whatever day of the week. We're going to have an open house on Sunday or Saturday or whatever day, and then we'll review offers on Monday. It gave us all some breathing room, right?
Sure.
And then you had, and I don't typically have buyer remorse, but I felt like there's some clients that just can't see a house and 5 minutes later say I'm going to write an offer, and you want me to write full price or over? What?
You're like, what the heck?
Yes.
It's hard enough to get me there as it is.
This year I love that we all seem to learn from that and be like, okay,
let's just
be real here and give each other a little bit of a break.
Sure, absolutely. Are you okay if we ask like a little bit faith-based questions? You seem faith-based. Is that okay? Would that be okay if we go there for a little bit?
Sure.
You worked for Thrivent. Does that play at all into your business or what you do? It seems like it kind of plays into your daily habits. Like it sounded like you said earlier, like you wake up, you're blessed with putting your 2 feet on the ground.
Right.
Now what are you going to do with that?
Right.
Is that, am I reading that correctly? We're a faith-based organization. That's the only reason I'm asking if that's okay.
Yeah.
Does that come into play in your business?
I think, yes. And the most it comes into my business is twofold, really. We've all been blessed to be here, right? And we've all been given talents and that just doesn't come from nowhere.
Right.
So the foundation is we were created to be here and to be our best, and so let's give it all we can.
Yeah.
That's one part of it, and then the other part of it is your family and your parents and your upbringing. And my mom was such a driver, and no matter what they could afford or what they couldn't, if we wanted that little color TV at Christmas,
sure,
they had that color TV on.
Sure.
I mean, we didn't expect a lot, we didn't have a lot, but they always made sure we were fulfilled.
Yeah.
And so
good.
All of that is the foundation, and it's paying it forward and giving back and givers gain, and there's opportunity in everything. I mean, that's a little bit of a separate segue, but when you think that you're going to a listing presentation or you're doing a BMA for a relocation, you're up against 3 agents and you're probably not going to win and it takes you 3 hours to get it done. There's a reason. Don't see the negative in it. See, okay, there's my opportunity to change X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Or if I don't get a listing, I always ask, is there anything I could have done differently? I'm so what can I do? Because you don't get them all.
Yeah.
But you try to grow and learn.
Yeah, grow and learn. You put your ego aside and go, tell me, give me the raw feedback. What happened?
Please do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Please do. Good. That's great. Thank you for going there with us.
Sure.
All right, Stacey. So tell us, how do you handle when you come up during a challenging time, let's say an appraisal goes bad, something happens in your business, and maybe that's the wrong word of bad, but let's say there's just something challenging that comes up. How do you and your company handle it? How do you handle it?
I think it's important to remember that everybody goes through that, and everybody has a bad day. You might be like, oh, everybody might have a bad week, right, or a bad month, but you don't know what's happening tomorrow.
Sure.
Right? So one thing I always think to myself is if this job was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
And again, yes, mindset and positivity, and it's challenging. I mean, and even sometimes you have buyers and sellers that the seller's perception of this buyer is like, and it's not.
Yeah.
Right? So it's good to remind myself, and truly, I may have the worst day ever one day, and the next day I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that happened, because now they're going to buy another house and I'm going to double dip it because they want my list, and you have no idea.
You have no idea
So
what's
you
coming
just
after it. Yeah.
take it, and you get, what is it? You get knocked down, but you get back up again.
Yeah. Yeah, you just surrender the outcome. No matter what happens, it's going to happen.
Right.
And it's all about how you react to it.
Yep.
Best advice, like what is the best advice you've kind of received over your career, or things that kind of just lay in your mind?
There's several, really. So Roy Vaden is an author. I saw him at a global conference years ago. He wrote the book, Take the Stairs.
Okay.
So one of his phrases is, success is never owned, it is rented, and the rent is due every day. And there it goes back to every day, and especially in commission sales, right?
Yeah, you got to wake up and you got to go.
Exactly.
Hard as you can.
And then Floyd Wickman was, do what you say you're going to do, sometimes more, just never less.
Sure.
So those are two that I had in my brain.
Yeah, you can see that you can see that in your business.
Yeah.
You can see that in your business, just the little bit I've got to learn from you already.
Right.
Well, you're definitely in your passion zone. I can definitely tell that. Thank you so much for sharing your information and the things that you've learned over time. It's been a blessing getting to know you, so thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.